Now, finally, I'm about to leave you guys because I don't want this to be too long, because I discovered that you guys like Indomie noodles kind of content. So I hope you listen to this today. I need to help you. Lastly, if you are in that category of those that read book after somebody tells you, oh, this book is nice, you just abandon the last one and go to the next one. Please listen. In my last Instagram live, I got a question from someone, whether a lady or a guy, I have no idea. She was telling me that she reads a lot, she does a lot of personal development, she likes to take courses and all of that, but she still feels like she's not moving forward. I'm sure that most of you watching me right now are in that same space. You feel like you're drowning in knowledge, literally, but it's like it's not really having any effect in your life, right? So you're welcome in advance, because I'm about to make that go away, because there are just some particular things you are doing or you are not doing, and it's making you feel this way and feel like people go on social media and say, this book changed my life, but I read the book and my life did not change. Can you relate to this? So one thing I'm sure that you are not doing is repetition. See, just like every other thing in life, right? If you really want to be a master at something, you need to do it over and over. You read that book once and you think you've gotten everything therein. No, you need to read it again. Jot things down. Read your jottings. Go back to it. There's power in repetition. It helps it stick. Think about this again. If you're already big on listening to podcasts, for those that listen to me a lot, I'm sure that by now you'll be quite big on listening to podcasts. If you listen to it once and you think you've done so good, it's the best you can do, I mean, now your life will just begin to change dramatically. It won't work that way. You need to listen to it again. There's some podcasts that I listen to 4 times. I can tune into a podcast right now. I listen to it, 20 minutes podcast till the end. I will take it back, because I know that these things will only stick up here when I repeat it, when I keep hearing it and hearing, then it begins to sink in, and then the effect I want for it in my life will begin to show, because I'll remember to implement. When I'm talking, I'll remember it. If it's a sales podcast, when I'm selling, I'll remember it. But once will not do the trick. Think about when you were in school. The high-flying students, what did they tell you that they do? They read way before exam, right? I hope you heard again that they read it over again. They don't just read way before exam and read from beginning to the end of the book or of the course notes. No, they read it first off. They read it again, maybe like 3 or 4 times before exam. That way, they get all these things to stick a whole lot. So, repetition. You get it? Now, the next thing I am sure that you do not know about is you listen to dozens of people. You should actually be careful of those that you give authority over your life. Yes, if you listen to somebody, if you read their books, they are an authority over your life. I hope you are aware. There are a lot of messengers right now. In fact, social media has made everybody have a platform to come and speak. And if you're not careful, you have like 10, 20 mentors. You are following like 50 accounts of those talking about something that you're interested in. At the end of the day, you have a bunch of information, and then you are confused of what you really do, because I mean, there are a lot of messengers and the way they disseminate their message is different, right? Here's my advice. Have just very few people. Myself, I have very few people I listen to. I can give you the number. I listen to Paul Fu. He does talk about sales and other business things. I listen to Rob Moore, talks about money, talks about sales, talks about life in general. I like to listen to him because he likes to talk about economy and all of that. That's doing money. Then I have a podcast I listen to also called the Sales Logic Podcast. 3. If you come to my phone right now, check my Spotify. Those are the 3 people I actively listen to. Those 3 persons. Then maybe if I go on YouTube, I can do a little bit of Praise Akilami, or maybe Cody Sanchez, right? But I do not have just a bunch of people, a lot of them, I just keep listening. No, I filter those I listen to, because I know that that's the only way I can get information that will not clash. That's the only way I can really get information that I can process to implement. So you need to filter those that you listen to. You need to filter those that have authority over your life. Now, here's the third thing I'll give to you on a platter. As you read about that thing, as you listen to podcasts about it, please talk about it. Go to your WhatsApp status and write about it. I wake up in the morning, I have a routine for my morning activities, but I read, I listen to podcasts. Sometimes I could be reading like maybe 5:30 a.m., 6 a.m. and you can see me come and post something about business, about money. Trust me, I'm reading about that thing at the moment. So when I read it immediately, because as I read, I write. I'll come to my, it's so powerful, I'll come to my status and write it out. You know what that does? It helps you seek more. And it helps even you establish authority. Nobody wants to know. Sometimes I quote anyways, like this is from this person. But nobody really wants to know. People just see as someone that's just that quality person and they want to look out to what they post. But we know that your life is a reflection of the things that you take in. So if right now you feel like you don't have authority over anybody, you are trying your best to be an authority in your space and it's not working, it is because you are taking in junk, or you're not taking in enough knowledge, or you just think you can get by scrolling through Instagram reels. I hope you get it. So do what? As you read about it, as you listen to it in a podcast or on a YouTube video, come and do what? Drop a little tips about it on your status. It will stick more. If you do Instagram more, drop it on Instagram. If you do LinkedIn, type it on LinkedIn. Come back and tell me how that goes. And this particular one, I'm sure you've heard it again and again, but it is not cliché. You need to implement. See, a number of people, I train people, I coach people, I have courses. And I've seen a bunch of people that take a lot of courses, but they keep paying for different courses because they don't implement. You need to implement, I beg of you. In fact, as you are reading, I got this tip from a podcast I listened to, like I think last year thereabout. The guy said, and this is why I remember because I listened to it over and over. Remember that tip, right? Great. Now, the guy said in that podcast that once he's reading a book, if he's done with a chapter, he doesn't move on to the next chapter until he has implemented what is in that chapter that he read. Do the same thing. Implement. If not, you just have a lot of knowledge and they're not really doing anything for you. If you're actively developing yourself, it should show in your life. Once you're taking in knowledge, your life should be a reflection of that. If your life is not showing how much you are taking in knowledge, then it means there's something you are missing out on. Either you're having a lot of knowledge, like I said, junk, listen to a lot of people, or you're just not taking your time to implement before bamboozling yourself with another knowledge. Now, this particular one, if you go on Instagram now and you start reading about maybe like a reel that comes on your page is saying that, yeah, 5 books that changed my life. Once you watch that one, I did recommend another one to you. If I just see that you're interested in such, they'll keep recommending such reels to you. You know what happens? If you heard about 5 things that changed my life yesterday, today you heard about 2 things that made me a millionaire. That's another book. Tomorrow you heard about 2 things that made my brand go from 0 to blah 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 figures. But you're writing down all the books. Because we're like, ooh, it changed his life. My life must change. Ooh, change his business. My business must change. What you will end up doing is to have a lot of things that you might never get to. So filter your space. Read things that pertains to you. I beg of you. You can't read everything. People recommend books to you till thy kingdom come. But make sure that you read things that pertains to you. Are you in business? Then branding can pertain to you. A little bit of sales can pertain to you. But don't just go and read some particular things because somebody said it changed their life. Filter what you read. Make sure that you have a list that really pertains to you. And that's the way you won't procrastinate. And that's the way you will ensure that you are not feeling so drowned in knowledge. Now, finally, I'm about to leave you guys because I don't want this to be too long because I think that you guys like Indomie noodles kind of content. I hope you listen to this video and it will help you. Lastly, if you are in that category of those that read book after somebody tells you, oh, this book is nice, you just abandon the last one and go to the next one. Please listen. That could be that thing affecting you from really showing or manifesting the knowledge you take in, the level of knowledge you take in. Don't rush to finish that book. Take it in. You must not rush to the next book. I can read a book for a month. I'm presently reading a particular book that's about 300 and something pages. I don't care. But before I used to be pressured, I want to go to the next book. No, I take my time. I mean, that book, the reason for reading that book must manifest in my life. So why would I rush to the next one? I'm not really done digesting this one. I read it in strides, in chapters. In fact, if you look at my jottings for the books I read, you would think I'm writing another book. It's that intense. And I make sure that I go back to read it over time. So don't rush. What's the rush? Are you rushing to? Take yourself, give yourself time. Be consistent, don't get me wrong. Be consistent, don't skip days, but don't rush because you want to get to the next one. That way you cannot fully get the benefit of reading that book. I hope you get it today, and I hope I've really helped you to come out of that feeling or that phase in which you are drowning in knowledge, but there's nothing to show forth in your life. If I've done that, please tell me in the comments how helpful this was. And If you want to talk to me some more, my handles are also in the comments or in the caption anywhere around this video. Link up with me. You're welcome.